The movie is set during the final moments of World War I, leading up to the armistice at 11 a.m. on November 11, 1918, known as the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Despite the signing of the ceasefire with Germany, fighting continued on many fronts as commanders sought to gain as much territory as possible before the truce took effect. This story follows the soldiers who went over the top, fighting fiercely until the very last minute. The movie begins with Captain Will Rivers grappling with the effects of PTSD in the Argonne Forest on November 8, 1918. Struggling with the harrowing effects of PTSD, Captain Will Rivers seeks out Captain Roberts, his longtime comrade. Roberts, a veteran leader, reveals to Rivers that he will be leading a contingent of 40 to 50 fighters, armed with 3 machine guns and mortars, into one last desperate push against the enemy lines. He informs Rivers that their left flank will be held by the 365th Infantry Regiment, renowned as the Buffalo Soldiers. Despite their lack of combat training, Roberts is confident in their bravery and fighting spirit. In an attempt to ease Rivers' stress and share a moment of camaraderie, Roberts offers him a drink from his flask, reassuring him that they can rely on the Buffalo Soldiers' resolve and courage in the upcoming battle. As the army marches into battle, tragedy strikes as many soldiers perish in the relentless onslaught of war. Amidst the chaos and carnage, Captain Will Rivers, grappling with his PTSD demons, finds himself ensnared in a haze of memories and fear. It is at this critical juncture that a black soldier, sensing Rivers' distress, attempts to snap him out of his reverie with a sharp, sobering slap. Rivers regains his composure and orchestrates a strategic deployment of his resources to execute a bold maneuver around the heavily fortified German trenches. With meticulous planning and unwavering bravery, they unleash a surprise assault from an unforeseen direction, directing their fire at enemy troops and machine gun emplacements from the rear. However, this tactical ingenuity exacts a grim toll as the unyielding barrage of enemy gunfire claims the lives of numerous valiant soldiers. With unwavering determination and steely resolve, they hold their position, confronting the enemy in a relentless firefight that pushes them to their very limits. Through sheer courage and unyielding perseverance, they ultimately succeed in wresting control of the German camp, clinching a hard-won triumph against seemingly insurmountable obstacles. However, the black soldiers face a new challenge. They find themselves deep behind enemy lines with their supply lines severed. In Chaumont, France, Colonel Jack Morrison receives startling news that the army has successfully broken through the formidable German lines at Argonne. To his surprise, he learns that African-American soldiers are at the forefront of this breakthrough, but he understands they now face a unique and pressing challenge. Morrison wastes no time in bringing this concerning development to the attention of General Pershing, also known as Blackjack. Pershing, anticipating a fierce German counterattack to reclaim lost ground before the ceasefire, grasps the gravity of the situation. Determined to show unwavering support for the African-American soldiers, he swiftly authorized a critical mission to provide them with essential assistance and reinforcement. Back at the camp, Major Reddick issues urgent orders over the phone to mobilize the artillery to the front lines. Meanwhile, Captain Will Rivers gathers his fellow officers for a somber briefing on the harrowing battle, solemnly distributing the tags of their fallen comrades. After the briefing, General Pershing summons Will for a crucial assignment: to venture out, locate, and safely retrieve the stranded platoon. Will hesitates, revealing to the general that there's tension between his men and the African-American soldiers. The general, understanding the urgency of the mission, insists that this order has come from higher command and must be carried out without delay. He stresses the importance of unity and cooperation, emphasizing that this is a critical moment for all soldiers to come together in the face of adversity. Will seeks out Captain Hooker, the battalion commander, in search of Private Kane. However, Hooker, known for his dislike towards black soldiers, attempts to dissuade Rivers from embarking on the rescue mission for the black troops. Despite Hooker's objections, Private John Kane, a black soldier from Hooker's own unit, unexpectedly appears and is reassigned to Rivers as his runner, altering the dynamics of their mission. Rivers leads a diverse group consisting of Cardini, Pincelli, Corporal Anson Kirby, O'Malley, and Private John Kane as they embark on their mission to locate the missing black unit. Along their journey, they encounter Mary, a compassionate nurse with the Red Cross, who provides vital assistance by guiding Rivers and Kane to several wounded soldiers from the same unit. During their search, they encounter Joseph Lafleur, who provides crucial information about the whereabouts of the remaining men situated atop hill number 473. Will then brief the team on the gravity of the situation and the urgency of their mission. However, tensions rise when one of the white soldiers attempts to ridicule the black soldiers, prompting John Kane to swiftly intervene, gripping the offender by the neck in a display of defiance against racial prejudice. As they make their way towards the hill, they encounter a house along their path. Proceeding cautiously, they tactically approach the structure, moving in pairs and alternating their advance to minimize risk. However, their stealthy approach is met with unexpected resistance as the house turns out to be occupied, resulting in a tense exchange of gunfire. After successfully neutralizing realizing the threat and gaining control of the situation, they establish communication with other soldiers from the 33rd. These fellow soldiers, familiar with the area, provide invaluable assistance by sharing detailed information about the whereabouts of the Black Platoon. They confirm that the platoon is indeed located on Hill 473, which is currently heavily fortified and occupied by 3 formidable German battalions. Colonel Jack Morrison relays a critical message to General Pershing. The Germans have agreed to a ceasefire, with the terms set to take effect at 11 a.m. on November 11th. However, he adds a complicating factor. The French have requested that the Allied forces continue to press the Germans, despite the impending armistice. Understanding the delicate balance of the situation, General Pershing weighs the strategic implications of these developments as they prepare to navigate the final hours of the conflict. After inquiring about any news regarding the black soldiers and receiving no updates, Rivers opens up about his deep personal connection to the mission. He explains that he cares deeply because of his own history with the black soldiers. Known as Blackjack for a reason, Rivers recounts his time as the leader of the 10th Cavalry when it was an African-American unit. He fondly remembers the honor and privilege he felt in commanding them, emphasizing the strong bonds and respect that developed between them during their time together. Back at Argonne, as the unit takes refuge in a temporary respite within the house, tensions simmer as Pincelli directs derogatory remarks towards John based on his race. However, another white soldier steps forward to defend John, rebuking Pincelli's offensive language. In a gesture of solidarity and camaraderie, the soldier extends an offer of coffee to John, creating a brief but meaningful moment where they share stories and bond over their shared experiences of war. In the morning, as the unit presses forward, tragedy strikes suddenly and devastatingly. A stray grenade claims the life of Pincelli, who moments earlier had been mocking the fallen. The loss hits the unit hard, sending them into a spiral of grief and frustration. In the aftermath of Pincelli's death, tensions escalate as Cardini and John Kane clash in a heated confrontation. The emotional toll and the stark reality of their mission prompt the unit to question the command to risk their lives to save the black soldiers. Some revolt against the idea, arguing passionately against sacrificing more good men in what they see as a hopeless endeavor. In the midst of the turmoil, Captain Rivers stands resolute, his voice steady as he asserts his commitment to follow orders while respecting the choice of each man under his command. He refuses to coerce anyone into taking unnecessary risks. Despite the discord and grief, the unit gathers their resolve and continues to advance towards their objective, navigating a path fraught with danger and uncertainty. General Pershing received the hopeful news that the Black Platoon might still be alive, sparking a glimmer of optimism amidst the darkness of war. On their way to find the Black Platoon, the unit encounters the enemy. As they exchange fire with the enemy unit, they quickly realize they are not the only ones shooting. Gunfire is also coming from the other direction, caught in their own intense firefight. Once the initial clash subsides, they discover that the Black Platoon has been fully engaged in combat as well, highlighting the gravity and intensity of the situation on the battlefield. Finally, after understanding they located the colored unit, Rivers engages in a discussion with the CO Sergeant, Perry. He conveys his orders to rescue the unit, but Perry and his men are steadfast in their determination to hold on to the hill, where they have already sacrificed 27 good men. Rivers explains to Perry the imminent German assault on the hill and their urgent need to reclaim it before the war concludes. Despite Rivers' persuasive efforts, Perry remains resolute in his decision. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Rivers makes a compelling case to his own men, urging them to stand alongside Perry's unit and defend the hill against the superior German forces. He devises a plan to fortify their positions and prepare for the impending attack, ensuring they can safeguard the hill and eventually bring the colored soldiers back safely, thereby fulfilling their orders. Rivers then devised a plan to trap the Germans by strategically placing their machine guns on the northern slope just below the crest, while positioning their men at the base to cover all possible escape routes and approaches. They began implementing the plan and waited patiently for the Germans, their anticipation growing with each passing moment. While they waited, Rivers and John shared a reflective moment about their experiences in the war. Suddenly, Rivers turned to John and asked if he was the soldier who had slapped him earlier and then saved him, and questioned why John had taken that action. In the midst of this conversation, Richardson interrupted, informing Rivers that a German officer had arrived under a white flag and wished to speak with him. The German captain approached Rivers and requested his surrender, arguing that their position was pointless as the war was drawing to a close. However, Rivers steadfastly declined the offer, determined to hold their ground. The German captain, recognizing Rivers' resolve, assured him that their attack would commence at dawn, confident in their impending victory. Sensing an opportunity to seize the initiative, Rivers made a decisive move. Instead of waiting passively, he launched a surprise attack in the evening, catching the Germans off guard. This unexpected action forced them to retaliate before they could fully regroup, turning the tide of the battle decisively in Rivers' Rivers' favor. Under Rivers' strong leadership, the U.S. Army launches a powerful attack on the Germans, causing them heavy losses in the intense battle. However, as the fighting continues, their ammunition starts to run out, which puts them in a difficult position. Despite the tough situation, Rivers leads his men with strong determination and bravery. Sadly, during the intense fighting, Rivers is critically wounded by a bullet. Despite his own injuries, he keeps going, encouraging his soldiers to keep defending the hill. Rivers shows his unstoppable spirit by holding the position until 11 a.m. on November 11, 1918, when the war officially ends. Though Rivers dies in battle, his sacrifice helps secure victory, and his memory as a brave leader lives on. Rivers' sacrifice and strategic brilliance ultimately contribute to the victory, marking the end of the conflict and ensuring the safety of his comrades and the colored soldiers he fought alongside. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.